Testing.
I know you work in the hospital. Good evening. Today is Monday, May 13th, 2024. We are at the Green Ladle and we'll call the meeting to order at 5:34 p.m. and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We will start introductions with Councilor Harriman.
Scott Harriman, City Council Rep to the School Committee.
Megan Hurd, Ward 6.
Ashley Medina, Ward 5.
Craig Charpentier, Ward 4.
Elizabeth Eames, Ward 3.
Phoenix McLaughlin, Ward 1.
Megan Parks at large.
Jake Langless, Superintendent.
Karen Paquette, Assistant Superintendent.
Our Ward 6 and Ward 2 members are excused absent tonight. Agenda item number 3 is the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that anyone would like set aside? Seeing none, the consent agenda is adopted. Agenda item number 4 is public input. Members of the public may address the school committee for up to 3 minutes on non-agenda items now and on agenda items later. Comments that pertain to staff, personnel matters, or a student issue should be directed to the superintendent or the appropriate staff member of Lewiston Public Schools. Public comments shall be directed to the school committee and be brief, not repetitive, and related to the matter at hand. Before starting, please state your name, address, and affiliation to Lewiston Public Schools. Are there any members of the public that would like to speak? Seeing none, we will move on. Agenda item number 5 is to receive Lewiston Public Schools recognitions.
Good evening, everyone. We have a group here tonight to do some observing from a leadership perspective, but I'd like to call up our principal, Charlotte Johnson, to see if she could share a little more about our efforts tonight to recognize student council and leaders, Deborah Smith, Heidi Lamprin, and Brittany Hutchins for her organization of the Tiger Run and work with Girls on the Run. Principal Johnson.
All right, so I am Charlotte Johnson, principal at McMahon. I'm going to start with recognizing Brittany Hutchins. She's a third grade teacher at McMahon. But about 5 years ago, McMahon was known for our community run, the Tiger 5K, and COVID happened, and so it didn't happen for a while, but Brittany wanted to bring it back. And so she started recruiting a team to kind of put this together, partnering with the PTO, started planning in January. She mapped out the route. She got people to help organize. The student council, who I'll talk about later, helped hand out water. And it was a really, really successful event. It was on April 27th. And so we plan to do this annually the Saturday after April break. And so I'm just putting that plug out there now, but I just wanted to recognize Brittany for her hard work because it was a lot, but it was also very successful and it was a great day. Not only has she done that, she has started Girls on the Run, which is a program for girls in grades 3 through 5. It is preparing them for a 5K, which is happening in June in Brunswick, but it also does a lot of community building, positive body image, and they do some service community projects as well. And so she's leading that along with 5 other staff members. So she has just brought a lot with health and wellness to our community, but also people are having fun and feeling together. So I wanted to recognize her for her hard work. So. Did you want to share anything?
No, I'm really happy to do it and I'm really excited that we have quite a few of our students participating on Girls on the Run. We don't have currently any other programs besides 21st at the school. So I think that's like the most important thing to me is we have over 30 girls participating. They're there almost every night and they're happy to be there. So it's giving them something to do after school. So.
Thank you. Do any school committee members have any questions or comments for her? No? Okay.
No.
Now I'd like to recognize my student council. If you guys want to come up to the podium. We have 5th and 6th graders from McMahon. This is our first year with a student council. Deb Smith and Heidi Lamprin are the leaders. And Deb, at the end of last year, came to me and she's like, I'd really like to start a student council. Do you think that's something that would spark any interest with our students? And it sparked a lot of interest. In the fall, we had a lot of students running for the positions. There were posters everywhere. These students wrote speeches and their classmates voted for them. And they hit the ground running with a lot of work. They partnered with the store next door. They've done a lot of work doing some clothing drives, health and beauty product drives. They handed out water at our Tiger Run. And then I caught some of them on Friday handing out notes to teachers for teacher appreciation. So they have just added a huge positive support to our school and our community. And so I wanted to recognize them for their hard work. So, and I do think, Aubrey, are you going to speak? Yes. Yes, they want to share some things with you. So I'll let them do that.
Hi, I'm Aubrey and I'm a 6th grader at McMahon Elementary. I was elected to the student council by my peers. I feel very accomplished being in the student council. Some of the things we did this year are a clothing and personal supply drive for the store next door. We went to the store next door to see how it is run and helps our kids in our community, made notes for teachers for appreciation week, and we volunteered at school events. We are also hoping to get sports back at McMahon Elementary. Thank you.
Do you guys want do you want a picture? Come over here. You can take a picture. I just wanted to share too, they are going to hang out for a little bit. They just wanted to see how a school committee runs and things that they do. So thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you. Was that the last certificate? Okay. Agenda item number 6 is to receive and potentially vote on a field trip request to Boston.
And I believe we have
Spencer.
Director Johnson here tonight. Johnson, Phil, Spencer wasn't able to join us.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So yeah, go ahead, lead us
Okay.
off.
I won't be as polished as they were, but I'll do my best. So for the last year, Next Step has been running an 8th grade program with in partnership with LMS called the Dream Chasers program. And the way it's structured is each trimester is meant to have a different focus. In our first trimester, we focused on advocacy and communication skills. And out of that group, the students proposed a culminating trip at the end of the year to Boston. A big reason for that is because a part of our program is based on novel experiences, which are those experiences that take kids out of the classroom and get them to experience what they previously thought wasn't possible. What also works well about this trip is that our primary locations that we want to go to are the aquarium and the science museum, which connects with our 3rd trimester focus, which is on exploring the outdoors and understanding plant and animal life on a deeper level. We were blessed this year to get Department of Education grants and innovative tutoring grants. So it has about $3,500 allocated for just transportation costs. And then it's got about $5,500 left in supplies and pay for fees and things like that. So basically we've narrowed it down to it's a full day trip. We're shooting for June 4th. We would leave at 8 in the morning. We'd like to actually return a little bit later than it says 8 p.m. Because we're factoring in rush hour traffic. When we return, we've got our LPS vans to make sure kids get home safely. And we have 5 chaperones for our 23 students to do so. So yeah, they're really excited about it. Unfortunately, we kind of got on the agenda late, so the 2 students that pitched the original idea couldn't come tonight. But I want to shout out Mohammed and Reagan Cunningham for dreaming up this trip. And yeah, we hope we can make it happen.
Questions from committee members? Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the field trip to Boston.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Thank you
Enjoy
so
it.
much. Appreciate it.
Member Medina?
No, actually, I wanted to just compliment the kids. We didn't have an opportunity for feedback. So I just wanted to say thank you for doing the work, for caring about your community and other students, and the little girl that spoke, I forgot your name, but you did an amazing job. You should be really proud of yourself. That was awesome. Thank you.
second that.
Agenda item number 7 is to receive an update on the LRTC trip.
So I have a video I'm going to queue up when appropriate. But I just wanted to give you an opportunity to come to the podium to see if there was anything anyone wanted to add, or should I just play the video first? Just a quick caveat, the video that is queued up and ready to go, because of the way our system's set up here, we might not have audio in the room, but just so you know, the background is just light music as the slideshow plays.
How's that? Good? Well, it looked like the video was 8 minutes long, so we don't want you to sit here in silence and listen to that. Well, first of all, thank you. We brought some students, a couple of them just want to say a few words. We made you some stuff that we saw in Italy. We had an amazing time. It was a beautiful trip. I mean, to me, as an instructor, I felt like the biggest part of this, well, again, we're going to ask you to go again next year. I just want you to know that too. And we realize there's some paperwork to go along with that, but as an instructor, I think getting the kids to come in here and work, like in the restaurant business, it's hard to get people to work right now. There's not a lot of people coming out. There's not a lot of people. It's hard work. It's hard to do. But this trip, the kids worked. We did fundraisers. They raised money to come on this trip, and it was an incentive to come here and to work at the Green Ladle, which was amazing for me to see, because sometimes we do hundreds of events here a year, and we're begging kids to, oh, come back, please, come work. If I do all the work, Chef does all the work, then the kids don't learn anything, but this gave them an incentive, and I feel like, this was our first time doing this, organizing it, so we learned a lot too, and put a lot of more financial thought into it for the kids too, so they understand some of the financial aspects behind what's happening in the restaurant business. But overall, it was an amazing experience. I don't know if Chef wants to share or Chef wants to share, but this is just we ate fabulously. The tour director was amazing. We didn't have any incidents, but the other group had 2 people that go to the hospital, and we just saw how great this company was. Our tour director was with a girl at the hospital till 4 in the morning. He came back and he caught them up with the tour, got back on the bus, and everything was well. Nothing crazy. One guy had a kidney stone and the other girl hit her head and she got sick, so they thought it was a precaution. We had another kid with a health issue, and our tour director, he ran out and got the medication she needed. Nothing crazy again, but probably something nobody wants me to share. But we had an amazing trip. It was beautiful, just from beginning to end. I think just completely amazing. And again, thank you. Alex, I think, wanted to say a few things, and then we're going to have Jada say a few things.
Of course. So my name is Alex Bratton. I am a senior at Lewiston High School and a proud second-year student at the Green Ladle. And if I'm getting right into this, I thought this was going to be a joke. I heard about this at the beginning of my senior year. My chefs brought it up as just a thought, and I obviously wanted to experience that more than anything. And when we got closer towards the date and I heard that this could actually be a real thing, I was very surprised, and honestly, I was so excited. I was willing to put all my effort into achieving. I'm so sorry. I was able to put all of my hard work into volunteering, many hours, many nights, to fundraise plenty of money for myself and for other students who couldn't pay everything. I did understand the financial aspect of it, and it was a lot, but EF Tours did an amazing job scheduling the itinerary. We were always busy. From morning till night, we were constantly in motion, constantly moving, and never stopped, always learning about the culture and the cuisine aspect of it all. And I thought it was really amazing. I always felt safe. Honestly, it'll be an experience that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Not many people get to travel outside their home state and country, and I thought that this is an amazing opportunity for me and my students to learn about everything, the culture of it all. And I just want to say thank you for your time, for you guys to listen to me. So thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jada Booten. I'm also a senior here at the Green Ladle. I'm going to go back to what Tony said, but the trip really was amazing from beginning to end. But even before we left for Italy, we learned a ton. And with all of our fundraising being here after school, there was like a buzz in the classroom at all times. Everyone was thrilled. Italy that, Italy this, we're going to try this, we're going to go there. I can't wait to do this. Everyone was thrilled. So every day in the classroom, everyone was excited. And then everyone wanted to show up for all of our fundraising nights, which were learning a ton in themselves because we got to make and try all kinds of Italian food and then go actually try it there. And that in itself was amazing. But we bonded all as a family on all the fundraiser nights and then got there and just had a complete blast. There was so much to learn, so much to see. Oh my gosh, it was a trip of a lifetime, guys. It was amazing. Yeah, thank you for your time.
If you don't know, this is only my second year as an instructor, and last year I felt like it was Dan Karen's class, and we really built a relationship with these young people. And again, we've been around the world together now, which we can't say about a lot of other people in our lives. So I mean, it's really amazing. And I don't want to brag, but the food that we have in front of you right here is better than the food that we had in Italy. We had focaccia all over Italy, and if you haven't had our focaccia, you're the best focaccia in the world. We know that now because we ate it on the beach. We saw it in every restaurant. I mean, the shops were amazing. The grocery stores weren't that huge, but the open markets and the opportunity to just walk through some of those. I mean, we went to the biggest outdoor market in Europe, and the food that was hanging out there, and the clothing shops, all that kind of stuff. It was just amazing to see. So we want you to take a break. We don't know how, your agenda's up to you, but please, you have to eat all this before you leave tonight. So do that. And we'd like to make this a yearly trip. We know there's some paperwork to go with that, but we're going to come see you again. And we started really late on this last year. We didn't start our first fundraiser till December, and it was a big chunk of change. I think it was $4,500 a student, and we tried to raise as much money to offset that for them, but it's a big chunk of change. Leaving in April and starting in December, those monthly payments were huge. So if we get back, we might have a parents meeting in June and then come back and ask you for permission and then start fundraising. Some of the kids in our junior class said they wanted to start fundraising this year. Our schedule is kind of busy, but we're going to see what we can do and hopefully do it again with a whole other group of students. This year we were attached to another school, George Stevens Academy up north. Is that what it's called? George Stevens Academy, I think. They were great to be with, but we only took 17 students, well, 17 people, 3 chaperones, but we'd like to have our own trip. So we have to get to 30 people to have our own tour bus. Our tour bus driver was amazing. We've been in touch. We've Zoom called with our director from our tour, who was an amazing man, and we had a great time with him. And we requested him, if we're going to do this again, we want to go with him, and we want our same bus driver again. I mean, we built relationships around the world that we're still WhatsApping, we're texting the same people. So again, I don't want to take more of your time. Well, I could talk all night about it. It was just, we could keep going. We could try to name cities and things that we saw, churches that we saw, open air markets, just a beautiful, beautiful place to visit. So thank you. Thank you for what you do too. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do any school committee members have any questions or comments?
Questions. I mean, if anybody has a question, if you want to talk to a student or if you want to
Member
ask.
McLaughlin?
I'd be curious if any of the students want to share what the best meal that they had was in Italy.
I know what mine was.
Well, we could share ours. I mean, if you want to think about it, we had, I think it was almost a 3-pound steak. And
In Florence, is what they were known for.
yes, yep, it was amazing. And it was
Dry-aged T-bone.
totally. And the 3 of us tried to eat as much as we could, and then they laughed at us when we left. You didn't eat much. And we're like, oh my gosh, it's only a few pieces left, but it was the best steak I ever had. It was tender, fork tender, and delicious. Anybody else?
This wasn't my favorite thing, but one of the things that I tried that I was like, ooh, that might be a little weird, was fried veal, but it was actually really good. And I was surprised, but it was really good.
In Rome, there was this little tiny corner pizza market. You guys went there too, and they had like the best pizza I've ever had. And it's kind of funny that just middle of nowhere in Rome, of course, there's something that good.
I also would like to add, I made a pact with my head baker chef that I would eat gelato. Gelato every single day I was there. And I do want to tell you that I did completed. I did have gelato every single day for 12 days straight. I did not get sick of it. Me and her tried new flavors almost every day.
Where was your favorite?
My favorite was in Secretaria, the Amarena cherry gelato was my favorite. So
Thank you. Member Hurd?
Thank you. So I will also volunteer if you need any chaperones. I would love to go.
Thank you.
But I was wondering if there was something that surprised you. Like, was there like a preconceived notion of something or something that you thought it was going to be and then you got there and you were like, oh, that's actually different or that wasn't what I thought it was going to be?
I would say the traffic. The traffic was very scary there. Not like we were in danger, but the way they drive there is a lot different in America. It's crazy there.
The way they
Yeah.
park too is weird.
Yeah, that was definitely the craziest thing in my
Yeah.
eyes. But
Have you ever seen a train stop for a person riding their bike? Well, I have.
It was totally amazing. The service culture is different. I mean, again, we all went out to eat and it just seemed, so here we're really service oriented and our servers are right on top of the customers and, oh, can I get you something else? They come right over there. You didn't have one waiter, one waitress. You had to scream, hey, come here, we need this, we need this. They didn't want to bother you while you were eating. It's considered rude for them to walk up to your table. They'll never give you the bill because they want you to stay all day and they don't want to be rude like they're trying to push you out. So you have to ask for the bill. You have to ask for anything. You have to flag somebody down, which here we consider rude, right? You're waving at your waitress and I don't want to go see those people, but over there, that's what you had to do to get somebody's attention, which I thought was amazing. The lifestyle seems a lot laid back. They have a big nap in the afternoon. I think they go eat lunch. Coffee was amazing. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
Our first stop, we were in Cremona for a few days. And the people there stay up partying pretty late, like for Sunday night. We stayed in a hotel right in that alleyway where there was restaurants in the middle of the alleyway, and people were out there until 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday night. I was like, wow, you guys have fun. I don't know, that shocked me.
I think there were people cleaning the alley when we got up in the morning. I think maybe there were people still at the party. It was a party in the alley. Some people complained. It was interesting. Small alley too. It's beautiful. It was beautiful though.
That's great. Thank you all.
Thank you. And please don't, we're probably gonna leave, so that can't stay in here all night. You have to eat it.
We'll work on it.
We'll see it in the morning. And in Italy, if you don't eat it all, they get offended. So
For some to the student.
Yeah, if the students from McMahon want to come up and get some of this also, there's plenty.
thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, get up there. Don't be shy.
Chef, maybe one of the students could explain to the other students what it is they're looking at.
So what you have in front of you is a charcuterie board filled with fresh. Oh, okay.
Agenda item number 8 is to receive and potentially vote on the second reading of the following policies listed as A through K on the agenda. Are there any questions, comments, or a motion? Member Hurd?
I would like to make a motion to approve the second reading of the following policies listed A through K, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous. Agenda item number 9 is a report from the school committee chair, and I do not have anything to report other than a reminder to go out and vote on the school budget tomorrow, please. Agenda item number 10 is a report from the superintendent.
Ditto. I think the biggest thing I have is to just go vote. We did share some additional informational things today. Tried to answer any questions that anybody from the public has had as they've reached out. And yeah, go vote. And I'm not telling you to support it or not support it, but I think the numbers are important, so we know what your voice is saying. So encouraging as many people as possible to get out and rock the vote, I guess.
Agenda item number 11 is report from our city council rep.
Not much different than last week, although we passed the school budget, or we passed the city budget, including the school budget. It passed unanimously. And we also created an ad hoc committee on establishing a homeless shelter. That's all I have for now.
Thank you. Agenda item number 12 is updates from any subcommittees. Member Hurd?
Thank you. So we had our first wellness subcommittee meeting on Thursday. And Alyssa was there for part of it. And I don't remember her like assistant.
Rhonda.
Yep, her. And we just talked a little bit about, Karen gave us the policy, and so we all read through it. It's like 6 or 7 pages. And we read through it and just kind of made notes about what we were interested in, what we had questions about, what we wanted to look into. We had a student from Next Step there, which was good. And she was able to give us we talked mostly about like lunch. That was kind of the first thing we talked about was lunch. And so she gave a little bit of her opinion of what lunch looks like for them over at Next Step where they're offsite, and things that she would like to see changed over there. We talked about lunches in our schools and how that's determined, as we do get most of our lunches are paid for through federal money. So what that looks like, and what the requirements are there and the guidelines. We talked a little bit about at the high school, maybe implementing some food nutrition information, especially with our athletes and what they should be eating. What they should eat 15 minutes before a game or an event, what they should eat an hour before, what they should eat the night before. So how do we bring that into our schools? And there is a class at the high school right now, but he only reaches, just such a small group of kiddos. How do we expand that across to all of our athletes? So that was pretty much the gist of it. We kind of went over. We really just barely got into all of the things. So I'm excited to see what else we'll get into. Facilities committee also met on Thursday as well. We talked about playgrounds. We talked about the roof at McMahon. We talked about there's an RFP right now out for bid for our janitorial supplies, some cleaning supplies and that kind of stuff. So we're waiting to hear back on that. That'll be due the end of the month. I think that's it. Bill, did I forget anything? Yeah, the roof at the McMahon, at McMahon.
Yeah, I think that, the roof is the big thing, but just as an ad, because we have a gathering here from McMahon, because we're talking about the McMahon roof. The student council is sitting in the back, just so you know, to repair your roof, it requires structural work. So we have to get an engineering plan. We have to have additional supports put within the roof. And so there'll be some construction projects. We'll do our best not to disrupt the school space, but there will be some disruption.
And how much is it going to cost?
And it's a little over $1.2 million to repair that roof. That middle section has to be replaced. That's why it's so costly. But
thank you. Any other subcommittee updates? It just occurred to me the other day when I had the public health committee meeting that I never provide updates on that. It's not one of our subcommittees, but it's a committee that I'm on as a school board member. And I always forget. So we met last Thursday and we are planning the 4th annual recovery rally, which will be September 14th this year. We had a presentation from Generational Nor, who is doing a lot of work with our youth in the community. They provide essentially, I'm not going to do it justice at all. She has an amazing video, but they're providing like a drop-in center for youth to go in and talk and meet with their peers and just discuss whatever's going on in their lives and how to work through those things. Nicole Welch from Lewiston Rec came and gave us a presentation on the pool, and that will be open the third week in June. For, I believe she said 10 weeks. I'll have to double check on that, but it'll be open to the public. And our next meeting, we got a report from the state level public health that said that there has been a drastic increase in HIV in Lewiston, Auburn. And so they're coming to give us a presentation on that to find out the causes and how the community can stay safer. So I'll have an update on that after next meeting. Any school committee community announcements?
I have one that's also an effort with the rec department in the city. Next Sunday from 11 to either 3 or 4, and you have to sign up in advance. There's a youth clinic, kind of family day. There'll be food trucks, members of the Patriots for football clinic pieces, members of the Revolution for soccer clinic pieces. So this campus should be pretty busy and have a good time. So feel free to get students signed up or come over and check it out Sunday from 11 to, again, it's either 3 or 4. Forget.
Thank you. Any other community announcements? Agenda item number 14 is future agenda items. None of those either. Okay, 15. Oh, Member Medina.
So I attended the Mean Girls play over the weekend, and it was the students did an amazing job. But there were times where the equipment made it hard to listen to the kids, and it made me like really sad to know they worked so hard and sometimes you couldn't understand them. So I don't know, I just wondered if we could talk about, I know it costs money, but I think it's worth a discussion to see what we can do to possibly get them some updated equipment.
That would be great. Thank you.
Was that
The Lewiston Middle School.
middle school? Yeah.
We actually
I
have,
concur with what
Yeah.
Ashley said.
the IT department has worked with an audio specialist to bring in a new mixing board and so update some of the controls software. I'm not saying it perfectly. Austin gave me a thumbs up, so I'm going with it. But that system that was put in the Bose system when construction happened, and the mixing board was like original to the building, and they never converted that. So we are in the process of converting with that as all the scope is underway. So that should be, fingers crossed, all set and without asking for additional big bucks.
Thank you. Agenda item number 15 is to enter into executive session to conduct a student discipline hearing, Title 20A 10019 and Title 14056B. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded by Member Medina. All in favor? School committee's in executive session at 6:12 PM.
And do any students want more